Well, hello, deviant. Welcome home. How did it go? So, pretty confident in it? That's good. I'm glad it went well. How long until you get your final scores back? Nice. Oh, Huxley called earlier. He and Damien invited us to go see a movie tonight. I'd like to if you would. Sounds fun. Okay, I'll text him. Come here. My day was fine. Good. Yes, it was good. No, nothing's wrong. I just have been feeling a bit listless lately. Maybe. Which is neither a feeling I'm accustomed to, nor one which I enjoy. I don't know. I'm not sure. My life has changed immeasurably in the last 4 years. I know we've talked about that before, but lately that's been coming even more sharply into focus for me. Before I met you, my life was very different. I didn't have a home. There didn't seem to be much point in one. I didn't need to sleep. I could create or destroy any possession I wanted with a wave of my hand. I didn't have to have a place to store anything. I didn't have anything. Not for any longer than the span of time I was actively needing it. I could be anywhere in an instant, and I often was. The great irony within me was that while I so adamantly opposed the prevailing mentality amongst desire demons that we exist purely within the context of giving and receiving pleasure at the expense of all individuality, I didn't really have much individuality that I was fighting for. I had a name that I had chosen, and a body that I wanted to be my own, not one in flux. But beyond that, I wasn't much different from my kindred. When you live like that, disconnected, exclusively concerned with the short term. The passage of time and the changes it brings feel muted somehow. It's almost numbing. Day to day, things don't seem to change much, so if you don't give yourself space to look farther back, or to imagine much farther forward, it's easy to not notice as the big changes build up over time. I'm used to time marching on around me, but I'm not so used to seeing the effects of it in my own life. Maybe because in the past I didn't have much of a personal life on which to feel the effects. I just mean everyone's doing something, and I'm not. And that didn't used to bother me, but I think it's starting to. Lasco is settling into his role on the administrative board, and he's taking on more classes as a professor. So is his partner. Oxley is excelling at his job with the land work commission. They've got him going all over the place. Damien just graduated with a certification and is already fielding offers from a half a dozen different groups. You just wrapped up your 3rd year at DAM. And meanwhile, I've done what? You're right. I did get my full certification, and then I've done nothing with it. It felt good to have that goal and to deliver on it, but now that I've gotten it, I don't know what to do next. Way back when I first imagined getting it, I had wanted to work for the department as one of their deltas. I thought that was a way I might be able to help people. And I think there's still some value in that. Even as broken as the department is, I can understand the belief in being able to best change a flawed system from inside of it. That's what the Lascos and Damiens of the world do. But that takes a patience and a mindset that I just don't think I have in me. I'm ill-equipped to sit behind a desk all day. The most time I've spent around a desk was under one. It's just different for demons. It depends on the demon. There are those who feel comfortable doing a conventional terrestrial job. Most who do are deltas for the department or articulates for the chorus. There are stewards in Aria who help give guidance to recently coalesced demons. No. they would never let me. Not after Ophiuchus. He was my steward. He held certain beliefs about what it was to be an incubus. I disagreed with those beliefs. There was friction as a result. He's a steward of some renown, deviant. He could easily orchestrate a refusal, and I believe he would. Well, let's just say our last conversation ended abruptly. In our astral forms on Aria, we don't interact physically, but it was analogous to taking a swing at him in front of a number of other stewards. I was encouraged to go to Elegy for a while to cool off. I've only been back rarely ever since. Besides, being a steward would mean a large portion of my time would need to be spent in Aria, and that sounds miserable. But perhaps I shouldn't be thinking about stewardship quite so literally. I suppose there are other avenues to offer guidance. What I want, what I think I could do well and do good by doing, is to show other desire demons that there's another way. One besides the conventional wisdom of what it is to be of desire. I think there's a flawed belief in the world that in order to rail against what we're expected to be, we have to somehow resent a part of ourselves as a result. That has to be the driving motivation, that we have to exist in defiance of what we are. I don't believe that. I love being an incubus. I love existing in desire and reveling in it. It's not all that I am, but I treasure that part of myself nonetheless. I delight in it. Traditional wisdom would have desire demons believing that those things can't both be true at once. Yes. I suppose I'm not particularly traditional, and I'd like to think I'm all the better for it. Thank you. just don't know what to do with that wish, though. I'm fully certified now, but that really only means anything to the department, or other institutions. I don't want to be on Aria. I don't think the chorus has much interest in me. I don't really have any connections anywhere. I've known many people over the years, but none for more than a handful of encounters, if you catch my drift. And, well, I'd like to think I'm very memorable. I don't think that that's earned me any administrative favors. I don't know about that. No, you're right. I mean, yes, I have connections here now. I have much more than just that. I have a family here. The only one I've ever known. A beautiful, occasionally a bit dysfunctional little family. The crew, as Hux is so quick to call it. I only meant I don't have connections that would get me some kind of career, for lack of a better term. And I certainly would like a better term. Career sounds so ingloriously stuffy and boring. Although I do look incredible in a suit when the situation calls. Oh, you are always welcome to call for that, my love. You know that. But my point stands. You're right that many of our friends may be associated with the Academy, and I'm sure that's what Damien is ultimately going to end up choosing as well, no matter what the others offer, knowing him, but I can't. I don't feel. I don't know how to ask for help. It's not something I'm used to. It's not something I'm good at. And I don't even know what I'd be asking for. There's no precedent for what I'm thinking would be of help. What's the title of a job like that? What does that fall under? What does that even look like? You're right. As usual. It doesn't hurt to ask. To at least get some more input, some ideas. If I play my cards right, I might even get one of those patent-pending Damien rants out of the conversation. One of the ones where the little vein on his temple looks like it's about to blow. That alone would be worth it. Particularly if Lasco is there trying to referee. asking in the first place. I don't always know when I've reached a point where I'm ready to talk through something. I think even after all this time, I still tend to defer to the theater of my own mind, sometimes to my detriment. I appreciate that you put in the effort to check in. Sometimes that alone is the nudge that I need to get the thoughts out into the open. And I want to be clear. Nothing I've said about feelings of listlessness or stagnation have anything to do with what we have. Not at all. It's just the opposite. When you and I are together, I feel incredible. I feel happy. I feel at peace. But you also have a life of your own that fills your days, that gives you goals and drive, and that's wonderful. I just need to do the same. I want to do something. One step at a time. Each step at your side.